Hello, we're sisters like Angel.
And Ally, where we are checking in on things that matter.
And today we have a very, very special guest all the way from Ontario, Canada. She is the founder for Transgender Expressions Facebook group. And she identifies as transgender woman, proud transgender woman. And she is a proud Canadian. Please welcome Crystal Gallagher.
Yay!
Hi, everybody.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, Miss Crystal.
Hi,
So,
thank you for
Ally-
having me here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to being interviewed. So I believe Ali and you met first, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
actually
Ally
how it
became a
all
member.
started. I basically found the Transgender Expressions group, and then Miss Crystal has been so welcoming, and she's just as beautiful and sunny as she is on the outside as well as on the inside, and that's the reason why we're so honored to have her.
So I want to start with that
Oh,
Facebook.
thank you.
Tell me about
Yes.
the Transgender Expression Facebook group. What is it for? How did you find? How what made you decide to make one? And who's welcome to come? Like, I want to know everything.
Okay. Well, Transgender Expressions is a Facebook group, and it started actually about 4 years ago. And it was a very small group, and I actually inherited it, and I gave it the name Transgender Expressions. And what I saw was there was a lot of groups, support groups that supported people that were transgender and transitioning, and I often thought about how much more there is to us. Because people always see me as transgender, and they think of the transitioning and the support, but so many people have so much more, like the hobbies that they like, the things that they enjoy every day. And it's kind of like the more of you. So there's people in our group that make guitars, there's authors, there's screenplay writers, there's truck drivers, and they're all transgender. I enjoy metal detecting and hiking, and I just like to give people an opportunity to express themselves completely, not just that they're transgender, but there's so much to us.
Yes,
That's how I promote the group.
So it sounds like it's a venue for transgender people like us to showcase other like interests, talents, other sides of us that it doesn't have to be transgender specific. I mean, it could be also, but it could be anything also under the sun. It's as what you said, like arts or sports or like physical activity or other hobbies.
Yes.
So how does
So we're supporting each other, and we're sharing information about transitioning, and but also living our lives to the fullest.
Yeah.
And please tell us, Miss Crystal, how is it with you being the moderator? Like what have you learned through the past 4 years of moderating? Like did you discover something about yourself in terms of a self-discovery, in terms of like how you deal with the members?
I'm always learning, and well, I guess it was interesting because I often people would say to me, "You're an inspiration," but I wouldn't know why. And what I think it was just being out there every day, whether it be going to the post office or grocery shopping. I'm always myself, and I make little videos just of what I'm doing in my day. And I find that just being out there every day as myself and showing people that, it encourages them, and that's one thing. And I have learned as a moderator, I've learned to be careful, because is the screening of people. A lot of people apply to the group. And as much as we're there for support and to help people, there are a lot of people that apply, but the group is not for them. They're not, it's not, how do I say it? Like I've learned to not be naive. I have to really
So you want to
screen
like
people
make sure that
and
it's a
be careful who we let into the group.
So is it because you want to maintain the safety of the group? And
That's correct.
yeah, because like I tried to moderate a group before also on Facebook. It's for Filipino American creatives. It's like called Film Creative, and it seems like some people like just click and click and click and click in the join, and they don't really participate. They don't answer your questions. There's like preliminary questions, and they don't answer it. So you kind of have to screen out like the fake accounts, or yeah. So I kind of hear you, and I get that. Have you had a bad experience on people joining and kind of like doing something bad on the group or anything like that?
Not too much, no. I really learned to look carefully, and if they're not really a good fit for the group, that they're not part of the community, they're not someone who's really looks sincere, we just decline them. Yeah. We'll give some people a chance, but if we do, we're very, very careful. We don't want, a problem can grow too fast, so we're just really careful, and we actually haven't had too many problems.
Cool. It means you're doing a great job moderating the group. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So which countries are like transgender people who are, or any members of the group coming from? Do you have a lot from Asia, like Middle East, like Americas?
Everywhere. Well, it seems like, I don't know why, but the majority of people do seem to be maybe American, but but everywhere around the world.
Yeah.
Like I think we've got people right from Canada, Australia, Europe, Asia, everywhere.
Do you have an idea how many members do you have in the group, Miss Crystal?
Just over 1,200.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's just over 1,200.
1,200.
A lot. Very modern. Yeah. So nice.
Well, all I can say is I feel very I'm so happy because you know what, whenever I'm there, Miss Crystal, she never misses a day that whenever I post something or comment something, that she would always say hi to me. She's always been so gracious. So thank you for making me feel so special, Miss Crystal. I just wanted to know that I love you and I really look up to you, and that's the reason why, you're such a ray of light. Yeah, this is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
yep.
That's so nice. And that's so nice to hear. So you mentioned earlier to us that you're Canadian and you're actually from Southern Ontario. And you said you kind of transitioned in a rural area. So I'm curious how that experience was for you. Like, was it easy to find support? Because it seems to me like in the United States, like if you live not on the bigger cities, there's not much doctors who knows like transition, like, like hormones and this and that. How was it for you there?
Yeah. Well, like you say, it's a rural area in Ontario. So it's a farming community. The closest large center would be about a 45-minute drive away. So I live just outside of a very small town, and everybody's very nice. So I came out as transgender and I started transitioning. And I guess I was pretty quiet at first when I first came out. But then what happens is people notice the changes, and they look at you like kind of like, what's going on, right? And so one day I just, I had changed my name, I had changed my gender marker on my ID. I had been on hormones for a couple of years, and and I had to be out. So I was completely out, and so in my town, everybody knows me. So I had to go to the bank. I had to go to all the places, the library, everywhere, and say, my name is Crystal, and you knew me before, but this is me. And this is the funny thing was, people say, like, in a small town, like maybe there would be like not very much acceptance, but in my town area, I only know, right locally, our town, I only know of 2 transgender people, myself and one other person. And it seemed, this is what happened, it was very positive. It seemed like everybody was inclusive and accepting, and like they were really ready to be on board, like to be you know, accepting of the LGBT community, but they didn't have anybody to accept. So when I, no, really, so when I went to all the different places where I deal with, and said, okay, like I am, you knew me before, I am transgender, I'm out, that's it, this is me. They were like, kind of, oh great, we've got one.
And how does that feel for you when you, and how does that feel for you when you felt like you were like just accepted and embraced, you know, with everyone in your community?
Yeah, really surprised. Yeah, people. So the people in the community, they really helped me a lot to transition. And then I started doing volunteer work at our local school, and you know, they had been like a safe space, and you know, LGBTQ friendly. So same thing. So when I volunteered, they just thought this was great and welcomed me. And I don't think they'd ever had a transgender person before. So they were just really excited.
Perfect. So let's say, because you know what, you've voiced out basically how much, you know, you've been welcomed by everyone in your community. If they're watching right now, what do you want to tell them?
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being so kind and open and loving. Yeah.
Oh, that's
and that's, yeah, and I hope that I'm very visible. Everybody sees me, and I always hope that if anybody else in our community is afraid to come out, you know, they're transgender, or maybe they're somewhere else on the spectrum, I hope they see the acceptance that I've got, and they maybe feel safe to come out. That's what I always hope.
That's where, like you mentioned earlier, that people are telling you that you're inspiring, you know. I think that's where it's coming from also, just being, I mean, in a town that there was nobody before, being kind of the only one, the instant celebrity, the instant person that people will be talking about, and you're still being able to carry yourself and being confident and living yourself truthfully. I think that's amazing. And I think that's one of the inspiring things about you. Like that's what other people see from, you know, on you.
And since we were talking about, you know, people being afraid and things like that, we've also kind of like, we had like a brief moment when we talk about it. So how is being brave important to you?
Most important, because for me, I knew who I was. I knew I was transgender clearly when I was 11, and I'm now 53. So I waited a long time, and that's a lot of hiding. A lot of my life was fear-based, and something which is not connected to my transition, but just not too many years prior, someone said to me, if you run now, you'll be running the rest of your life. And it was something else that I had to act on, and I didn't want to because I was afraid, but I took that advice, and I did what I needed to do regardless of what happened. And what happened, you know, hiding and being in the closet, I just couldn't live like that anymore. I just, even though I was afraid, I couldn't be afraid anymore. If I was to, I just couldn't, and I had to come out. I had to live. Fear just could not rule my life anymore. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people that experience similar. And, you know, so to find that courage, so even if we are afraid, or even if someone's afraid, you know, I like to help people to have courage, to be brave, to be themselves, even if you are scared.
Wow.
So that's one of the biggest things in my life.
Well, congratulations for taking the lead, despite being so scared. And, you know, I mean, I remember it was super scary for me to kind of like, I don't know, because my mom, you know, the acceptance of family and then transitioning at the job and all of these things. And speaking of being afraid and kind of the hardships of transitioning, so who are the support that you had, and how important are these support system?
My main support is my wife, my spouse. That's who I came out to first. She didn't know I was transgender. I had hidden it completely. And Linda, my spouse, has supported me completely. And it's difficult. It's been a challenge for both of us. But that's where most of my support is. And my kids have supported me. And what was really neat was, I said I do volunteer work at the school, and the school actually was one of the kids at the school are very supportive, and they always tell my kids how proud of me that they are. So that makes my kids really happy. And our local health clinic has been, they're LGBTQ friendly, and that's been a big support. We have a small LGBT meeting in town. Usually it's only 3 to 6 people, so it's pretty small, but we're always there and the door's open. And the local community, and my Facebook friends, and the Transgender Expressions group. That's been my support.
Members of the Facebook group.
That's very inspiring that, you know, your wife, your kids, the school where your kids go to. I mean, wow, that's like a dreams community to live in. And so speaking of, because you know what, you've been so blessed with all these great family and friends and support group. For someone who wants to transition, they feel like it's too late. What can you advise those people?
I would say that it's never too late, because, like I said, I'm 53. I came out 6 years ago, and I started my medical transition 3 years ago. And I have with the supports, I have a very good therapist who I see. You know, now I see her once a month and we talk. So I work through a lot of things, and I think to myself, you know, that now I'm extremely happy. I'm very, you know, people know me, but before I came out, people knew kind of part of me, but they really didn't know me. And I started to realize now that if I had not come out as transgender, and I lived my whole life and my life ended, I could go through my whole life and nobody really knew me, you know?
Wow.
And now that really strikes me as one of the huge things of transitioning, is that people have a chance to truly know me. And when I finish my life, I know that people knew me. But so if someone was older, and like, even if they were much older than myself, I'm sure that they would have the same thing, that the person inside them, before this life is finished, you want people to know you, to know who you really are. And I think that is enough motivation to come out, or to transition as much as you want to, at the very least, so people know who you are.
Oh, that's so cool.
And if I could just ask another question, what has been the
Mhm.
best thing of your transition?
Being free.
Ah!
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, I wasn't
Wow.
free before.
And now you feel free. And would
Yes.
you say that you're happy?
Oh, very much. Yes. Completely.
You can see that. The alarm went off a little bit while ago. So we always ask our guests for 3 tips. One for beauty, because you're so beautiful. One for
Thank you.
healthcare,
You too.
like in terms of taking care of ourselves, and then one for self-care.
Okay. Well, I think one of the I think they're kind of tied together, really, because like for beauty, I think that I think most important is to feel good about ourselves, because I think that when we feel good about ourselves and like the person who's inside is free to be on the outside, I think that shows. And I think that people see that in our smile, in our eyes. And I think that in regards to beauty, that expression from the inside coming out, if it's happy, will show. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think then we feel good about ourselves, and then we do what our hair, our makeup, just to add to that. But I think it's mostly feeling good inside. And
For health?
so it's our beauty. The next one is our health. What's the second one?
For health.
Health. I think that eating well, eating properly, you know, it's very easy for me to, I love hamburgers and French fries and fast food, but it's really important to have yogurt and fruit and vegetables and eat well. I think that's really important. And regular exercise, like a balance. I think for health, balance. Eat well, exercise, rest well, everything in balance.
And then for self-care.
For self-care, I always say, this is what I say about self-care, is enjoy the moments and enjoy being you. It's enjoy being yourself and have fun with what's in front of us. I like going for walks. I like exploring. I love the outdoors. To me, every day is an adventure. Just step out and enjoy it.
Aww,
That's what I have.
love all of those. And I think I can see that happiness coming out of you. That's why I feel like, and you're so beautiful. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
last
You
questions,
too.
Ali? Or anything you want to add? Or anything else, Crystal, that that's important for you to talk about, if it's quick?
Is there any like quote or motto that you live by that you want to share?
I always share, enjoy the moments and enjoy being you.
Love it.
I love it. So why don't you promote the Facebook group to those who need support out there, and anything else you wanna tell our viewers?
Well, to promote the group, it's Transgender Expressions on Facebook. And I just want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I was really looking forward to this interview. And I just want to thank our community. Like, we're always a wonderful community, and I love being part of it. That's all.
Oh, me too. I'm so happy. Ali, any last words or?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much, Miss Crystal Gallagher, for being my mother in Transgender Expressions. I know that whenever I go there and whenever I interact with my sisters, with our family at Transgender Expressions, I'm always so happy whenever I hear from you. So just so you know, I look up to you, I respect you, and I love you. And we're so honored to have you here. And just so you know, we're also here for you. Not just me, but as well as my sister, Angel.
Okay, very
And
nice.
also,
Thank you.
yeah.
And also,
But also, just love, love, love. And thank you for being such a ray of light to all of us.
Okay, lots of love to you too. Thank you.
yes, thank you so much, Crystal. You have a family here in Los Angeles, California. So if you do end up wanting to visit here, just let me know. Maybe we'll visit Ontario at some point, and I'll
Yeah.
reach out as well. And I agree with you that the transgender community, I think we're like one family, regardless of where we live. And we are here to support each other. And thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And we have new episodes every Sundays at 6 p.m. on Los Angeles time, and 9 p.m. Ontario time and Washington DC time, and it's 9 a.m. Manila Mondays. Please tune in. We are available for the live chat on the premiere, but the videos will be available anytime after that. Again, this is Angel.
And this is AllyCat Castle. And thank you so much for being with us, Miss Crystal
Crystal
Gallagher.